Hi, welcome to the Financial Goal Planning and Achieving 101. Tonight we're going to show you how to fortify your financial future, which was the theme of the Mia Bella's convention Fling 2025. So are you just playing with this candle thing? It's great to get these amazing candles at wholesale, and that may seem like enough, but do you understand the significant ability of your candle business to produce a substantial income for you? Do you treat your candle business like a business? We don't work for the money. Honestly, that might just not be inspiring enough, but we do work hard for what that money can do for us. And we're going to show you that in this training. Um, it helps us reach our personal and business goals. For this training, we're going to focus on the ability to attend Fling as the financial goal, but we can put any desire in its place. It's all the same process. You just want to determine, what do you want? Where do you want to go? And who do you want to become? How does a goal become a reality? How do you assure that you'll have the funds to attend Fling every year? So you'll find this training is actually very elementary, but you know what? It doesn't happen without a plan. So that plan is, number one, nothing happens until you decide. Not a maybe, I'll see what happens, but a decision that I will. Number two, cement the goal in your mind with a powerful visual, like printed photos on a dream board or a computer video that you create, and look at it often. You need to see yourself being successful with this goal before you actually reach the goal. And number three, no matter what, be committed to the goal, even if there are some setbacks and disappointments. Four, be consistent in contributing to your goal fund every month. And five, your subconscious mind works best when you have strong feelings. So show it the seriousness in which you're going after this goal with excitement, pride, and determination. And finally, number six. Well, the first five steps are essential to the process of achieving any goal. Nothing happens until you do the work. After all, the first two letters of goal are GO for go. So you might ask, what happens if I struggle with my goal fund? Well, guess what? You will struggle. If you aren't failing on occasion, you aren't trying hard enough. To meet big goals, you have to have big and bold action. So we need to empty your mind of negative thoughts that you can't achieve your goal, even if you find yourself stumbling. Don't buy into the fear and anxiety. Remind yourself when you previously have accomplished an important goal, because if you were successful before, you can do it again. Okay, now that I have my goal, what's the financial blueprint to actually make it happen? So you can use the individual envelopes and real cash to put away your earnings. Or what I do is I use Quicken, an accounting software, and I make fake entries to each separate goal fund that I have. So it's just like as if I'm writing a real check so that it appears that the funds come out of my bank account, but they actually don't. But this way, the money's saved, but it looks like I spent it. So it's not being used for other things, it's being put aside. So with either method, whether you're using cash in an envelope or using a software program, you want to use the goal saving progress chart that I'll show you at the end of the call. Okay, so after entering your monthly commission check, your fundraising earnings, and your retail sales profits, you want to divide up the net earnings into how much you'll contribute to each of your goal funds. Now, a short-term goal may be to save for a concert, for example. Attending Fling may take you a full year to save for, and taking a European trip may be a several year goal. But you just need to be consistent in making those contributions each month for the goal to become a reality. So after paying off your business expenses, because you always want to pay off your credit card first each month. Then decide how much of each month's net earnings that you'll give to each of your fund goals. Now, this can be a fixed amount, like $100 a month, or it can be a percentage of your monthly earnings, your choice. And you want to determine how many goal funds you want to have going on at any one time. I have about 6, but you can start with just 2 or 3. Now, the first goal fund needs to be your business taxes. So don't forget that you'll have to pay these at the end of the year with your tax return. So I save personally 30% each month towards those taxes. But now, if I've done a good job with my business write-offs throughout the year, then I usually don't have to pay that much in taxes, not as much as I've saved. But if it's there if I need it, but if I don't need it, then at tax time, then I'm able to take that remaining balance and transfer it over to one of my other goal funds. So it's a bonus deposit. And it's helpful if you use pictures and words as if you've already achieved your goal. So get excited about being able to pay for your goal fund with your business income. So first see it, then believe it, then achieve it. So every financial goal is done the same way. You're going to want to determine, what is it going to cost? How long do you have to save for it? And then you're going to divide the cost by the number of months. And this is going to tell you how much you should save each month toward your goal funds. So when you create a goal fund for Fling, it's not a question of if you can go. You know you can, because you've already saved for it. There's nothing worse than trying to scramble in May or June, trying to figure out how you're going to come up with the funds in order to be able to attend our company convention in July. So when you do this planning in advance, you're going to have the funds. And vagueness keeps you from reaching your goals. So you want to be specific in your plan. It's not, I think I'd like to go to Fling, but rather I have made the decision to go, and this is how I'm doing it. So you want to approximate what it will take to get to Fling. Okay, add up your registration fee. And this is going to include not only your training and the networking, but you get typically 2 lunches and a dinner and some drinks. And then figure out your transportation, whether that is your flight or your driving expenses. And obviously this will vary depending on where you're coming from in the country. Figure in whether you're going to rent a car or use rideshare, plus the cost of your hotel for the number of nights that you're going to be there, and then throw in a little extra for food or snack money. So you want to total it all up and then divide by 12 months to determine how much you should save every month. The goal will probably be $80 to $100 a month. Okay, again, depending on whether the Fling convention is in Phoenix or if it's on the East Coast in Pennsylvania and where you're coming from. But you also want to be sure to calculate enough if you plan on bringing your family members with you as well. And then most importantly, all of this is a business tax write-off. So save your receipts. You're going to be able to write these expenses off. So we got to spend, a week at a beautiful resort, hanging out with friends. We were at the pool, at the bar. We got to enhance our knowledge and belief in the business by networking with others who've had success. We got to be the first to hear about the company's good news and the rewarded with special product offers. And then we get to write it all off on our taxes. Okay, so this kind of was my story. By making the decision to do those 6 steps where I visualized the pictures, with pictures, what I wanted, getting past any disappointments, because guarantee you I had them throughout the year, being consistent in contributing to my goal funds every month, and then having strong feelings of excitement about what I was achieving, and then committing to do the work, even when I didn't feel like it. And that's important. You got to do it even when you don't feel like it. So I was able to accomplish what you see here over the last couple of years. Now, some of the achievements were material things like the car I bought for my husband, my favorite deck furniture that we spend so much time out there in the summer. Um, some things were necessities and not so fun, like the air conditioner that we had to buy this year. Not what I really would want to spend my money on, but boy, it was sure gratifying when I was able to, pay the $7,000 for the air conditioning and not have to take out a home equity loan. And then there were amazing trips that my family will never forget. A couple years ago, we did the Grand Canyon. That was a wonderful sight to see. Last year, I visited my daughter in Greece, so we spent time in Athens on a few of the islands. Then, of course, you can see the picture there of me attending Fling. So, because I've made the consistent effort to contribute financially to each of these goals, it actually came true. Um, so this never, really would have happened had I not used the approach to plan and save for my dreams. It doesn't happen by chance, but it is just one baby step at a time. And then we had Christina give her story about what she's used her business income for over the last year. She's been doing the sun and fun. They done some wonderful traveling and then upgraded their backyard with a pool where they invite their friends over to enjoy what she has achieved with her business. And then we had Darlene share her story about saving enough to take her family to Disneyland. So what an awesome opportunity to take some of the pressure off of her kids and grandkids being able to enjoy an awesome vacation together. So it was, again, her business income that allowed her to do this. And these are some of the tips that Darlene went over during the training that you need to, manage your calendar, mark out your family events and time to determine when you're going to be available to work your business. Book and work your events, parties, fundraisers on those available dates. But again, you got to have foresight to get things scheduled and planned for. Okay. Set a specific goal and anticipate when you need to have the funds by. Work your events. And if your customers ask your preference of payment, you can always say cash to add to your cash envelope. Venmo, Cash App, and credit card payments were used to pay for the event's products, supplies, and taxes, though. Then determine how much of your sales were paid in cash. If you don't need the cash to cover your business expenses, remember, we always want to try to cover our expenses first, and then it's the net earnings from it that go towards these goals. Then add that savings to your envelope. Okay. If you're, running more than 2, 3 fun challenges, then you just want to split up that cash. It can either be evenly split, or if there's one goal funds that's a little bit more important to you at the time, you maybe put a little bit more of your earnings towards that and a little less towards the others. So totally up to you, but again, it's just a matter of putting a plan in place and then being consistent with it. Okay, so this is the monthly goal fund savings challenge. Okay, I'll put this document in our training site so that you can make a copy of it, print it off. So this is going to help us, get towards that goal of primarily getting to Fling. So you might have, the Fling goal plus something else that you really want to achieve. Okay, so you might have 2 or 3 of these going at a time. And here's a kind of an example of how it will look. And you can choose the method that you want to use. So you can see there the one line, saving for, put in there what it is that you're doing. And then your start date and your end date. Okay, now if you've done the pre-work of figuring out the expenses of whatever goal it is that you want to achieve and then dividing it by the number of months that it's going to take you to achieve it, you're going to know how much you want to be putting into your fund each month. So my example of saving for Fling, the $960 divided by 12 was $80 a month. Okay, so you can either put in that $80 into each of the shapes, pre-fill them in, and then each month that goes by that you achieve adding the $80 to your fund, then you can color it in, as demonstrated by the green coloring there. Okay, or you can leave them blank and then enter the $80 into the shape each month as the year goes on, and when you've achieving that month, fill in the next shape. So again, however you would like to do it. Okay, so this is really the gist of the financial planning to help you get to your financial goals with understanding the significance of what your candle business can do for you. Again, it's great that we get our candles at wholesale and we can write that off. But when you really commit to the business and earning income, and then commit to being sure that your expenses each month are paid off first and foremost, so that you don't end up with large amounts of debt, pay off your expenses, and then what's left over, determine what goals you want to work on. First and foremost should be trying to attend Fling next year. Usually it's in July, so July of 2026. This one will be back at the home office in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. So maybe do a little pre-planning, figure out what it might cost you to get transportation there. Obviously, at this point, we don't know the particulars of what nights it will be or how much our hotel room rate will be each night. But if you start to give a little planning now, when they do announce that, you'll be off to a good start. So that was the training that I conducted at Fling 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona. I'll put this information then in the group, as well as the training site. So you'll have the video recording, and then also the sheet here, the goal sheet for you to make copies of and be able to print that out and use it for yourself. So that's all I got for you for tonight. So thanks so much for attending.